Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tracking a predator that rules the wild, not by brute force or massive size, but through unmatched speed and flawless strategy. We're talking, of course, about the cheetah, the absolute king of speed. But to really get this magnificent creature, we've got to look way beyond just running fast and uncover the incredible journey of its entire life.
3 seconds. That is literally all it takes for a cheetah to blast from 0 to 60 miles per hour. I mean, that's an explosive burst of energy rivaling modern supercars. It leaves literally everything else on the savannah eating dust. But here's the big question. Is a cheetah's existence only about this incredible sprint?
Well, a cheetah's life is actually a long uphill story of struggle, not just a quick dash. They're this perfect masterpiece where speed and intelligence meet. But surviving out there, that requires a delicate, everyday balance between incredible power and extreme vulnerability.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, Surviving the Early Years.
Female cheetahs give birth to litters of 3 to 5 cubs at a time. And get this, these little guys enter the harsh wild, totally blind and completely helpless. They're born into a landscape literally crawling with massive threats, making them 100% dependent on mom for survival. But nature steps in with this incredibly clever trick, the honey badger disguise. See, these tiny cubs grow a protective, soft gray mantle of long hair right down their backs. This brilliant disguise makes them look super similar to a honey badger, which is a highly aggressive animal that most predators definitely want to avoid. It confuses threats and keeps the cubs off the menu when they're way too small to outrun danger. But even with that awesome disguise, the mother's burden is staggering. She is an absolute hero, raising these cubs totally on her own for the first few months. Think about the dedication here. To protect her helpless babies from heavyweights like lions, leopards, and hyenas, she constantly moves the den every 2 to 3 days. It's a relentless, exhausting cycle. And her job isn't just to protect, she's also the head teacher. She'll frequently bring back stunned or injured prey specifically so the cubs can practice catching it themselves. It's high-stakes, hands-on training in the art of hunting. This tough but totally necessary schooling goes on until they're about 1.5 to 2 years old, which is when she finally leaves them to fend for themselves. Now, as they hit adulthood, their social structure splits in a fascinating way. Brothers will usually stick together, forming lifelong groups we call coalitions. This teamwork is a game changer, helping them hunt larger prey and fiercely defend their turf. Female cheetahs, they take a totally different route, preferring a highly solitary life unless they're actively raising cubs of their own. Navigating all these harsh conditions, dodging bigger predators, and relying on high-speed hunts really takes a toll. In the wild, their average lifespan tops out at about 10 to 12 years. It's a relatively short life, but man, it is lived at absolute maximum intensity. Moving on to Section 2, Engineered for this Sprint. Think of the cheetah as a literal biological sports car, perfectly tuned for high performance. They've got this incredibly flexible spine that acts just like a coiled spring, propelling them forward with massive strides. Their lungs and nasal passages disproportionately huge to take in the massive amounts of oxygen they need on the run. And that long, heavy tail works exactly like a boat's rudder, letting them make incredibly sharp turns at extreme speeds without wiping out. They also have a totally unique grip on the earth. Unlike almost all other big cats who retract their claws, cheetahs have non-retractable claws. They act exactly like the spikes on a track runner's shoes, digging deep into the dirt to provide an immensely strong grip so they don't slip during those explosive sprints. Next up, Section 3, the daytime hunter. So while savanna heavyweights like lions and leopards are ruling the night, the cheetah takes a completely different, highly strategic approach. They hunt during the day. Specifically, they target the early morning or late afternoon. This daylight strategy is absolutely crucial because it keeps them from directly clashing with those much larger nocturnal predators. Their hunting strategy is a deeply calculated mission. First, the cheetah uses the tall, golden grass to meticulously stalk its prey, blending perfectly with its spotted coat. It gets incredibly close, usually within just 30 to 50 meters, waiting for that perfect split second. Then, boom, they launch that massive sprint, strike, and secure the kill by grabbing the prey's throat and suffocating it. It is literally precision in motion. But here's the catch, and it's a huge limitation. A cheetah's sprint can only last for about 20 to 30 seconds. That's it. That is their entire window of opportunity.
The extreme physical exertion causes their body to overheat so rapidly that if they don't catch their prey in that tiny half-minute window, they simply have to give up.
Which brings us to Section 4, Resilience and Survival. Immediately after an explosive sprint, the cheetah experiences heavy panting and utter exhaustion. It takes a massive physiological toll. The cheetah is literally fighting to cool its core temperature down and just catch its breath. Because of this, it's way too exhausted to actually start eating its hard-earned meal right away.
And tragically, during this super vulnerable recovery window, opportunists often strike. Lions or hyenas will track the commotion of the hunt and just swoop in to steal the kill. And what does the cheetah do? Well, since it's built exclusively for speed and not for brawling, it usually just walks away without a fight. Risking an injury from a lion is a total death sentence for an animal that relies entirely on perfect physical mechanics to eat.
The stark reality here is that this magnificent masterpiece of nature is under severe threat. Their numbers are dwindling today not just from rival predators, but increasingly from human interference and habitat loss. This makes current conservation efforts absolutely vital to make sure the king of speed doesn't vanish from the wild forever.
But, there's something deeply inspiring to take away from all of this. The cheetah's daily struggle teaches us a profound lesson in perseverance. To sprint, to miss, to have your hard-earned meals stolen by a lion, and yet, to get back up and try again the very next day, that is true bravery.
So I'm going to leave you with this thought to consider. The next time you see a cheetah running, will you just see a fast animal? Or will you remember the long story of struggle, strategy, and incredible resilience behind that speed? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. If you enjoyed diving into this topic, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.